Talking a little bit of Stellar Lumens. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple days ago, they announced that Stellar on and off ramps are now live on the Slash app. With Slash, your business, you can pay contractors and vendors in USDC, accept USDC from your customers, and enjoy automatic USD to USDC conversion. No exchange account required. So that swapping feature, that's going to run on Slash, but the connections to, it's got a notification, just double checking, because once it comes out, it'll be all over the place. All right. Stellar's going to manage the USDC payment rails. Slash also partnered up with Solana to do the same thing. Now, when I saw this, I immediately remembered the PayFi ecosystem that Stellar and Solana support in collaboration with Huma Finance. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. This is the PayFi ecosystem map. Now, this update is very massive, but I'm going to add on top of it a particular theory I have involving PayPal and college sports. Yep, we're going back there again, guys, because the more I look into it, the stronger the connections get. And if it does manifest, just know you heard it here first. Let's look into this PayFi ecosystem really quick. You can see the transaction layer, just Solana and Stellar. So when I saw Slash particularly choose these two networks, I knew PayFi would be wrapped up in this somewhere. If that is the case, then that brings in stablecoin issuers such as PayPal, Circle, Agora, Tether, Mountain, RD. Is that Origin Trail? Interesting. Didn't know they were into payments. And then stablecoin infrastructures, of course, Bridge, Paxos. And then you look at payment infrastructure over here. We got Stripe. So the pieces are in place, right? So let's just kind of leave that as it stands right there. You can also see Visa under the cards. Let's take a look at Slash, get an idea of what they're offering. And I also want to share with you how they get their FDIC backing. It is through a couple banks, and it's highlighted here on the website. Love that. Love the transparency. Slash is a fintech company, not a bank or a lender. The Slash Platinum card is issued by Column NA. Take note of that name. Pursuant to a license from Visa USA Inc., banking services provided by Column NA and Piermont Bank members FDIC. Well, they're also members of another particular payment entity. Also starts with the letter F, ladies and gentlemen. So now that ISO is official here in the United States, the FedNow payment system becomes very important. So I went back over to FedNow home, FedNow's main webpage, to take a look at the service participants and service providers. And wouldn't you know it, ladies and gentlemen, Column National Association, based in San Francisco. And I believe they also mentioned that here somewhere down on the website. They're based in San Francisco, or it might be on their X account. But the point is, Column NA, as you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and strongly assume that this is Column National Association. So with this information, what we now have is Stellar integrated into a fintech software that is FDIC insured by a FedNow institution. Again, why do people keep wanting to knock XLM? I do not get it. I do not get it, ladies and gentlemen. But this is major. This is major. This is proof right here. This is proof. Another thing too, people also said FedNow won't include crypto. FedNow is not made for crypto. You're right. It's made for blockchain and DLT. And that's what we're seeing, guys. They also updated the certified service providers list back on May 19th. Interesting names on this roster as well. ACI Worldwide Corp, Alacrity, associated with Ripple in the past, Bank Social. Just seeing this live, ladies and gentlemen. Bank Social. That's on Hedera. Okay, now I have to dig into that. I was just going to highlight to you guys BNY Mellon. Okay, FIS, which also has worked with Hedera in the past. Juniper Payments. That isn't the same Juniper protocol on Solana. I dug into that one. Meticulous. Okay, that metal blockchain. That coin went nuts on the 14th. A little bit too late to get into Metallus. What? Temenos banking software has integrated both Stellar and Ripple in the past into their offerings. And then Volante Technologies, King Ripple partner, bringing in companies, introducing them to ISO 20022, exposing them to XRapid and all of Ripple's offerings. So now that it is officially here, we officially know the players. Stellar Lumens is tied all up in this, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see it here, Column National Association. Now, I looked for Piermont as well. Didn't pop up as of yet. But the goal with these FedNow banks, ladies and gentlemen, is to get more people involved, to onboard more banks. I am truly tripping off of seeing Bank Social on that list because, at least on X, the narrative was Bank Social got off with the bag that they got from Hedera, and now they're building other things that's no longer related to Hedera. With that, now, like I said, now I got to dig into it. But let's wrap this particular segment here with a little bit of a theory, a little speculation. Big 12 revenue sharing model distribution deal with PayPal includes expanded financial partnership. I just want to go down to this one particular quote from the chief marketing officer, Jeff Seeley, for PayPal. He told CBS Sports about 50% of students at these schools are already on Venmo. Very true. Then these guys needed the support of a payment partner to enable NIL and revenue share. It's a marriage made in heaven. Literally millions of dollars moved from schools to athletes seamlessly at rapid speed, incredibly within hours of the announcement coming out. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. Let's unpack this. 50% of students at these schools, D1, D2 universities, okay? We're talking your U of M's, Michigan State, Ohio State, Texas, UCLA, Texas A&M, Florida. I'm not going to Alabama, Oklahoma. I'm not going to name them all, but those names should give you an idea of the top tier universities that they're referring to. 50% of these students already own Venmo. So here's my thing about Venmo, guys. The research is out there and it will show you. Venmo is not generally recommended for business transactions due to limited buyer-seller protection. Very interesting. It would also make sense why they decided to go with PayPal to help with this. He says, then these guys needed the support of a payment partner to enable NIL and rev share. So further emphasizing Venmo didn't have all the pieces that they needed. Something else I know about Venmo, they hate crypto. They can't stand any of us because they feel they've already done instant payments. Everything is instant. But the problem that this story highlighted was that when it comes to scaling and specific applications in the world of business, Venmo ain't got it all. So, leaning just off of that alone, there's a window here. Okay? What I'm getting at is this right here. And it's emphasized by Brett Yormack, Big 12 commissioner. He says you're changing behavior in the whole ecosystem right now. You're no longer working with vendors, but you really want partners in this new age of college athletics. So we had to educate our schools a little bit on what a partnership with PayPal and Venmo would look like. But they all got on board, and they understanding that dispersing money needs to be done with a partner that can deliver security and reliability. Okay. So granted, Venmo already had the existing market base with the fact that all of these college students were primarily using Venmo. I dig it. But as he says, as Brett says, you're no longer working with vendors. You really want partners in this new age of college athletics. This new age of college athletics, ladies and gentlemen, all the more reason why I want to break off into the world of sports this year. It's changing. You can honestly look at it as now student athletes, their talent, their abilities, their name, their recognition, their image and likeness is being tokenized. And when they begin to tokenize NIL, Venmo is not going to be enough. What would be? Stellar, Solana, and the rest of this PayFi ecosystem. Now, I'm not saying that this is all going to happen right away. But I watch enough college sports, I watch enough sports, and I have been in crypto long enough to see that when there's an opening, somebody's running through that hole and they're going to score.